I'll be back at halftime with a look at games in progress. But first, we get up to Minneapolis. Standing by our guys in the booth, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. It can certainly get loud inside this building. And just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Atlanta Falcons. So happy to be with you, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. And we thought it would never get here, but here we are back together. It's opening weekend of the 100th season in the NFL.
So much football to talk about. That's our main focus. But how about how much happened in the offseason? Rules changes. Overtime rules were discussed in a big way. Some superstars changed addresses. There's a whole lot to talk about in the NFL in addition to this game we're getting ready to watch.
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
Forget the measurables. His temperament, which is so even-keeled, often masks a burning desire to win and perform. This guy takes it seriously when he lines up to play, and usually he puts on a nice performance.
Cousins now to throw on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off by David Amerson.
Defense.
Of course, they have the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. Completes this one to Meredith. 7 yards to pick up on the pitch and catch.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Ryan, and finding the tight end Hooper. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. How about this for an opening drive decision? You got 4th and short, just outside of field goal range in all likelihood. What do you do?
I'm going for it. I've got to go get it right now. I want to establish a tone. It's early in the game. I want to let my offense know that I believe in them. And you know something else? I let my defense know I believe in them also by taking that gamble. If we don't get it, it's okay. You guys will cover for me.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And they've got to be thrilled to have this game still at 0-0 after the interception thrown on the very first play of the game.
They certainly do. And what I enjoyed was watching him on the sidelines because as the defense came off, he was there to congratulate them and really say thanks because he threw the interception. It didn't turn into any points.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks him. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Extra point up and good by Tavecchio. And it's now a 7-0 game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense back on the field and looking to erase his memory bank from his opening drive a moment ago that ended in a pick-6 for the first points of the ball game.
And in my experience, a lot of quarterbacks, after throwing a pick-6, the first thing they want to do is fire another one and get those points back immediately. But what really helps you get back in sync is a good, long, methodical drive, mixing the run and the pass, tamp things down a little bit.
Leave it, bring up 48. 59 Mike, check, 59. Hey, we're good.
2 yards as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit with a screen soon.
On second down, Freeman. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Ben Gideon in on the stop. Well, these two teams, the Falcons and the Vikings, have met 30 times since the Falcons' inaugural year in the league back in 1966. The Vikings winning 19 of those games, but maybe the most memorable game between the two was a Falcons victory. That was in the NFC Championship game back in January of '99. Gary Anderson missed a field goal to potentially win it at the end of regulation, and then the Falcons would get the victory in OT 30-27, and they were off to the Super Bowl. That's taken on the 25. It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They start the drive with Cook. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. The defensive line made pretty easy work of the offensive line that time.
And people get tired of the cliche that the battle is won in the trenches. But it's a cliche because it's true. And how about the battle right there? One on the edge, and the ball carrier did not benefit.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate. I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And a terrific return there. They're finally able to corral him down near the 11-yard line. I'll tell you what, credit is due there on them preventing the touchdown after that interception.
How about him chasing him down and not giving up the pick 6? Because what happens a lot of the time is when you see the interception, you just kind of hang your head a little bit and you momentarily pause because you're frustrated. He shook that off and gave great chase and got it done.
Still a great return and very good field position. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Falcons have taken the lead. And there the counter play proves successful for the touchdown. What typically makes a counter play in general successful, Charles?
But what you're trying to do, Brandon, is to get the team moving in one direction, meaning the defense. Get them going in one direction and then wall them off with your blocking and bring it back in the other direction. That way, you don't actually have to punish them with your blocking. You just position them. And if you have any kind of a good back, he'll take full advantage of it and gain good yardage.
Tavecchio to add the PAT. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play.
On 2nd down, it's Cook. The tackle made there by Tack McKinley.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
It's our time. It's our time.
Here's Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Stephon Diggs with his 2nd touchdown of this opening quarter, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
Call that a very strong gain of 24. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
And Falcons fans everywhere excited that Devontae Freeman is back on the field wearing number 24 in the red and black. Remember, he went down in week 2 in 2018 with an injury and didn't return. They're hoping to see the form that led him to 1,000-yard seasons in 2015 and 2016.
From the 44, Ryan. It's hauled in by Hardy. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 30. Now, this will probably be the last play of the quarter. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. And he is going to go down. He will be sacked on the final play of this first quarter. Second quarter now, Falcon football, as they've got it with a 2nd down coming up. And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing, often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
3rd and long. It's Ryan trying to lay one up deep. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And that's off the right upright, and it bounces away no good. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Let's go, team.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
Mike is 59. Mike is 59.
Throwing, Cousins. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
A reminder, coming up later tonight, the Patriots unfurl their 6 banners. They play host to their rival Steelers. And then on Monday night, that's the one weekend of the year where you get 2 games to wrap up the week. Texans and Saints from New Orleans in the early game, then Broncos and Raiders. Vic Fangio's coaching debut, and the Raiders' final season opener in Oakland. That's the late game, 10:30 Eastern.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Ryan now to throw on 3rd down. He's got Hooper on the short connection. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the 1st. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Definitely worth taking another deep shot here. He's already found the end zone twice here in the first half.
Yeah, go back to that same well. They've had trouble containing him, but able to contain him on that play. After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Cousins to throw it. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag. Completed it very well.
Black. 45.
A first down throw for Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 41. Cousins again. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays. Cousins now 8 of 15 through the air, but it's 1st and 10 here. Cousins gives way to Cook. Cook with a first down and much more. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. 22 yards. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit. But for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They're down now 24-14. Work to do as they come up on a 1st and 10. Bryant will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
Come on, fellas.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
On the heels of that good carry by Devontae Freeman, here's 1st and 10. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And he's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman. Already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the second quarter.
And a lot of that is pride, because these types of bats.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's Desmond Trufant.
Hey, let's go. Interception.
We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. They'll look to run with Freeman. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Falcons have retaken the lead. Tavecchio good on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Cousins. And my goodness, another interception. It's Desmond Trufant. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or 2 and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 38. Here's Ryan to throw. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Final play of the half. It's Ryan. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. So we're at halftime here. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the third. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the first. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On the counter, Devontae Freeman. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Again, they'll run with Freeman. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40. And he's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker at the Vikings 39. Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on third. Here's Ryan. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. What a methodical drive. This is turning out to be, that time, 9 yards, and the sticks move again. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. There for the sack, Everson Griffin. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Ryan gets it to his tight end, Hooper. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tab.
And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones there to make the grab. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Extra point up and good by Tavecchio. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 23. To throw is Ryan. He's got Hooper on the short connection. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 14 yards there and a Falcon first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. And he gets this one to Ridley complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Give him 30 yards there.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. It's been an easy day for them.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Freeman again. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Ryan leads with Freeman on the draw. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. It's a pickup of 4, but they're still a yard short here with 4th down, forthcoming.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
Here's Stephon Diggs as he and the rest of the offense get ready to go again. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because...
And now here is another interception. It's Desmond Trufant. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
Defense wins championships, baby.
After the interception, here's Ryan. Completes this one to Meredith. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. Now Freeman. He's been busy today. And yet again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense. Well, the offense has had a big day. He's been great running the football, but I don't think anybody liked that last result.
No, they didn't like the last result at all, but they have to look at it in total, don't they? They've had a big day running the football. You take an occasional loss or an occasional bad play along the way, but all in all, they have to like what they've done.
The gain of 5 that time gives them the conversion and makes it 1st and goal. They'll run here with Freeman. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal, and the lone man in the backfield is Freeman. They'll give it to him up the middle. And yet again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Falcons. They've got the football. They've got the lead as we get set to start the 4th. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. A great job to hold him to just a yard there. Now it's 4th and goal.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him. And
he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, 69 yards. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Heading back onto the field, here's a look at Devontae Freeman now. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home, because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. He's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them, because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Adam Thielen and the rest of the Vikings offense, they get set for their next possession. They might want to mix something up defensively, because he's been shredding them a bit, hasn't he?
That he has, and even with all the changes that you know are going on the defensive side of the ball, he's still finding ways to get open, finding the right spots, and the delivery's been pretty good too.
He's over 100 yards, has the 1 touchdown score to this point. Kirk Cousins last year started all 16 games, but only led the Vikes to just 1 fourth-quarter comeback like he's trying to do here. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Cousins. It's hauled in by Doctson. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Josh Doctson, 29 yards, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. There they got the extra point, and now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Just week 1, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
The Falcons on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. This one caught by Ridley. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 10 yards there and a 1st down for the Falcons. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. On 1st down, Ryan. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley, 61 yards. And the Falcons push further out in front. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Let's go.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. Cousins now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. First and 10. To throw, Cousins. And my goodness, another interception. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. Down the numbers. There he goes. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a fourth quarter comeback.
With emphasis. Interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
Tavecchio good on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
All comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
Deep in there, right? And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Takk McKinley made his way into the backfield.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Cousins on target to Diggs. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a third down. Cousins now from the 50.
The goal for any offense.
And now here is another interception. Picked up by Keanu Neal. With that interception, he just set a record that nobody ever wants to set, and that's the most picks ever in an NFL game. 8.
The last time we saw 7, 2001, right?
Yeah.
Ty Detmer. He's with the Lions at that time. To get to 8, are we sure he knows what color jerseys his team's wearing in this one?
I don't know. It has not been good. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Everson Griffin on the sack, taken to the 4th round back in 2010. What a steal. So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. He completes it to Jones. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Matt Bosher now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. And now out comes Minnesota. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. They go play action here on first down. This is caught inside the 15. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A big pickup of 38. Cousins now. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. 2 incompletions haven't moved him any closer. And likely throwing again, you'd have to think on 3rd and goal here. Here's Cousins. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones. And a field goal obviously means nothing here. They're going to go ahead and go for it on 4th down.
Mike, check. 59. Hey, wahoo!
Now Cousins on 4th down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. 2 timeouts remaining defensively, but that shouldn't make much difference right here.
It really shouldn't, but a lot of coaches look at it similar to baseball with the intentional walk.
Always bringing in other sports.
Always, hey, listen, think about the intentional walk, right? What if one gets past?